Hello everyone, my name is Sagar Rao and I'm a building performance consultant at AEI. I chair IBPSA-USA's Building Data Exchange Committee and I'm here to introduce the committee and briefly discuss the concept of consensus documents for data modeling standardization. The primary motivation for the formation of this committee was twofold. One, the absence of a widely adopted, somewhat de facto data modeling framework that facilitates intra as well as inter-organization handoffs and collaboration. This is an expensive workflow deficiency, and if you're an architect, engineer, energy modeler, AHJ, or even a standards committee, you're most likely well aware of it. This fragmented approach to building data modeling it makes automation workflows less future-proof, and it also makes it harder for companies to make longer-term investments in deploying a data infrastructure. For overall, it just greatly reduces the value proposition for BPM. The second motivation was the agility or lack thereof of the current standards process. It has its tremendous strengths, but it should suffice to know that ASHRAE standards on an average take about 6 years for publication, and this includes ASHRAE guides and the like. For most dev cycles, our traditional standards processes are simply not agile enough to support modern web-first toolkits that are proliferating in the market. Obviously, ours is not the only industry facing these challenges, and so we looked for examples of success where standardization through consensus has been achieved with greater nimbleness. And obviously, W3C was the first that came to mind, which is the World Wide Web Consortium. So while still retaining the core elements of the inclusive and transparent process advocated by ANSI for standards development, BD is modeled somewhat after W3C. The committee employs a modern framework for development, authoring, publication, and maintenance of what we call consensus documents. These are much like traditional standards documents, only they're developed using a more contemporary and agile, quote-unquote, ANSI light process. We also want to encourage even broader industry participation and support the development of related toolkits for these data models. A formal proposal was submitted to IBPSA-USA in 2019, and we had our first full committee meeting in spring 2020. Our title, purpose, and scope translates to the following mission, which is one, agile tool-agnostic data exchange standardization for the design, analysis, and operational performance of buildings through the publication of consensus documents, and two, participation in related industry forums to encourage open information sharing in the development of pertinent data infrastructure for buildings. A public call for membership was issued in early 2020, and the response was overwhelming. Obviously, fair representation is key to consensus building, and so voting member positions for the first year were assigned based on a predetermined stakeholder representation in which the interest categories that you see on screen, based on the interest categories that you see on screen. And here is a list of current voting members. As you can see, it includes key BIM software vendors, simulation engines, and BPS tools, schema developers, practitioners, government organizations, and even international members. We think this is a fairly good representation of true market realities. As for committee organization, we currently have 4 working groups, each constituted with a specific mandate. The data modeling working group is tasked with creating an overarching framework that includes consensus building for key data modeling decisions, such as the choice of data structures, unit systems, serialization formats, naming conventions, etc. And the work is meant to lay a solid foundation for all BDE working groups to build on. Climate information is developing a consensus document for engine-neutral standard representation of climate information. This includes unified distribution of station metadata, design conditions, weather data, and also support for multi-year future climate files. CCR is working closely with other standards like 229 to develop consensus reporting data models specifically for compliance and reporting certification. Reporting, education and outreach has been distributing surveys to help us move beyond just anecdotal evidence to better quantifying and better understanding problems related to BDE to inform prioritization and scoping. And other working groups may be constituted in the coming months to tackle targeted problems such as BIM to BEM, cost modeling, and so on. If you'd like to get involved, please email us at bde@ibipsa.us, and we're also working on a website which should be up and running soon, and I'm obviously available for any questions. Thank you.